The 2023 NBA All-Star Game in Salt Lake City is widely regarded as one of the worst in NBA history. It garnered the lowest viewership since at least the 1990s, and the consensus among fans and coaches alike was overwhelmingly negative.
But that is the worst basketball game ever played.
To be honest, as a hardcore NBA fan, the 2023 All-Star Game didn't leave much of an impression on me. If I had to describe it, it felt like 48 minutes of a glorified layup drill, interspersed with a strange kind of three-point contest.
He shot that from Weaver's head. He's not going to do it again, is he? 48 foot. This is half court.
Here's what I mean. Since the NBA first introduced the three-point line in 1980, over more than 40 years and across over 40,000 regular season games, a player attempting more than 17 three-point shots in a single game has happened only 168 times. In the playoffs, this number is even more stark, with just 15 instances in over 4 decades. This rarity underscores just how unusual it is to see so many threes attempted in a typical NBA game. Yet, in the 2023 All-Star Game, the unusual became the norm as not just one, but 3 players each attempted over 17 three-point shots, all within the same game. This turned the game into a farce. To add to the disappointment, the shooting accuracy of these attempts was nothing remarkable either. But anyway, let me explain how this NBA All-Star Game was structured. LeBron and Giannis were to pick teams in a way designed to spare any player the embarrassment of being chosen last. And to do that, they selected the reserves first, saving the starters for the end. The idea was that even if you were picked last, you were still a starter, supposedly a win-win situation where no feelings were hurt. Or so they thought. While this seemed like a harmless draft strategy, it unexpectedly set the stage for complications that would trouble LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers well into the future. Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves as we dive into the exact moment that marked the end of the LeBron James era. This is a list which includes every player who was drafted into the 2023 All-Star team and was healthy enough to participate. And as I mentioned earlier, the reserves were selected first, leaving 8 starters to be picked. Among them was Nikola Jokic, the reigning 2-time MVP, who had just completed a season where he achieved the highest player efficiency rating in NBA history, surpassing a record that the legendary Wilt Chamberlain himself set more than 50 years ago. Now, this is where things got not only ridiculous, but disrespectful. LeBron opened the starters draft by selecting Embiid, followed by Giannis choosing Tatum. LeBron then picked Kyrie, with Giannis responding by choosing Morant. Next, LeBron opted for Luka, and Giannis selected Donovan Mitchell. At this moment, Jokic, not knowing that Lauri Markkanen was still available, approached LeBron and seemingly chose himself before LeBron could speak.
Up here. LeBron.
It's inconceivable that a 2-time MVP could be picked pretty much dead last. Afterwards, Jokic lightheartedly dismissed the incident, joking, "I would not draft myself either." But let's be real, as a fierce competitor, he probably took the whole episode somewhat to heart. After all, which 2-time MVP wouldn't feel slighted? Initially, the world didn't make much of it. However, in retrospect, selecting him as the last pick appears to have been a flagrant foul penalty 3 for LeBron, because to this day, Jokic has been tormenting him, much like how the Warriors did in the latter half of the 2010s. Both Giannis and LeBron share some blame in this scenario, but perhaps Giannis, being a rival and contemporary, was forgiven by Jokic. The situation with LeBron, however, took a different turn. How can I tell, you might ask? Well, simply look at their encounters post-draft. Whenever LeBron has faced Jokic and the Nuggets since that day, the encounters have been more than just disappointing for LeBron. They've been downright brutal. And here's what I mean. In the 2023 NBA playoffs, the Lakers breezed past the Grizzlies in the first round, then deployed their ultimate strategy against the Warriors in the second round, setting the stage for a showdown with the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals. In the opening game of the series, Anthony Davis exploded for 40 points. LeBron James, on the other hand, flirted with a 26-point triple-double, complementing his team's impressive shooting performance, 55% from the field, 46% from beyond the arc, and 89% from the free throw line. Moreover, they kept their composure by limiting turnovers to just 7 for the entire game, a performance that could only be described as near perfect.
Off the dribble, can't get him to fall. James, the rebound. Oh, what a pass! Barely touched it.
But when the final buzzer sounded, however, Imagine what LeBron James felt as the Nuggets took a 1-0 lead in the series. In Game 2, the Lakers held the lead for most of the game and were up by 12 points early in the third quarter. However, Jokic and his team had a different plan, saying, "Psych," as they mounted a second-half comeback, took the lead, and secured a 2-0 series advantage.
Jokic back to Murray, another three-pointer. It's good! Jamal Murray red hot!
Game 3 mirrored Game 2 in many respects, but with a twist. The Nuggets maintained the lead for most of the game. Then, just as LeBron and the Lakers tied the score in the fourth quarter, Jokic unleashed another psych moment, spearheading a surge that propelled the Nuggets to a commanding 3-0 series lead.
The dribble spins into the paint, kicks it out. Porter puts it in. Porter knocks it down.
In Game 4, the final matchup of the series, Jokic faced a choice. He could have taken it easy and allowed LeBron to win one game in front of his home crowd for a gentleman's sweep. However, down by 15 at halftime, something clicked for Jokic, perhaps the memory of being picked last. He exploded in the second half with 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists, not only defeating LeBron in a playoff series, but sweeping him, a rare feat that has occurred only 3 times in LeBron's career. After that series, LeBron told reporters he had a lot to think about.
I had a lot to think about, to be honest. And
while Jokic didn't make his thoughts public, it's easy to imagine him thinking, think about who you draft next time. Since LeBron selected Jokic as the last pick in the 2023 All-Star Draft, this playoff series was the first occasion where Jokic took revenge on LeBron for his selection. The second instance came during the 2024 regular season, and it was arguably even more devastating. You see, on March 2nd, 2024, having already suffered 2 defeats to Jokic earlier during the season, LeBron found himself once again facing off against the Joker. And although it was technically just another regular season game, everyone in the basketball world understood that this was anything but ordinary. No NBA player has ever surpassed 40,000 career points, but on this day, LeBron was merely 9 points short of setting this unprecedented record. This wasn't just another game. It was a historic moment in the making. Right from the start, it was clear that LeBron was in it to win it. He burst onto the court with intensity, speed, and focus that was unmistakable.
James drives, goes down the lane, layup is good.
Then, during the second quarter, LeBron unleashed his signature spin move and accomplished a milestone not even Kareem Abdul-Jabbar reached. He scored his 40,000th point, setting a record many think won't be challenged for decades. By halftime, the Lakers were ahead 66-58. It wasn't a large lead, but as the saying goes, it's better to be ahead than behind. During halftime, Jokic might have been weighing the Nuggets' strong position in the Western Conference, momentarily considering granting LeBron the win for his milestone. But then, a different sentiment obviously took hold of him. Nah, forget that, he thought. Remember how he dissed me in the 2023 NBA All-Star Draft? Not happening. With that defiance fueling him, when the second half began, Jokic stormed back onto the court with an intensity that spoke volumes. The Lakers' lead evaporated in the third quarter thanks to Jokic's partner in crime. From then on, Jokic himself dominated, scoring 19 points in the second half, shooting 8 for 11 from the field, 1 for 2 from three-point range, and going 2 for 2 at the free throw line.
Big offensive board. They go inside the Jokic and he banks it in.
Ultimately, the Nuggets claimed victory with a 10-point win, once again stealing LeBron's spotlight and glory with a stellar performance from the Joker. The ongoing tormenting of LeBron James by Nikola Jokic has continued into the 2024 NBA playoffs, and the extent of LeBron's struggle is evident. In Game 1, despite the Lakers' 19 free throws, which wasn't remarkably high, it still exceeded the Nuggets' mere 6 attempts. Despite this advantage, Jokic's outstanding performance with 32 points, 12 rebounds, and 7 assists proved insurmountable for LeBron and the Lakers, even with the referees seemingly trying to sway the outcome.
Golden opportunity missed. Jokic, that's a slam over James.
This marked the 8th consecutive defeat for LeBron against Jokic, a streak that began after LeBron selected him last in the 2023 NBA All-Star Draft. The 9th encounter came just days later, and it hit LeBron James hard, shaking him to his core. In the first half, with Anthony Davis scoring 20 points on an impressive 11 for 12 shooting, D'Angelo Russell lighting it up with 6 for 7 from beyond the arc for 18 points, and LeBron adding 10 points on just 6 shots, the Lakers looked unstoppable, leading by 15 at the half. Even in the second half, with LeBron leading the Lakers with 16 points, victory seemed within reach. But then, Nikola Jokic once again pulled a psych, tearing apart the Lakers before his partner in crime dealt the final blow, leaving the Lakers stunned and defeated. This series is still unfolding, and only time will tell where it leads, but they say top-tier players in the league often find subtle motivations, even creating fake narratives to fuel their game. Yet, in Jokic's case, no fabrication was necessary. So, the moral of the story: never insult a two-time MVP by selecting them last, or you'll surely live to regret it. And speaking of regrets, in the 2024 season, one man did something arguably just as bad as LeBron picking Jokic last, and he regretted his move as well. Curious to know the exact details of what happened and the devastating aftermath? Well, if so, then click on this video here where I'll go over the whole story.